Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dale Danker, president of TW Local 514 here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I wanted to make this video today and update you on some things that are becoming hot topics, one being masks. I'm looking down at my list. I've also got Marla Johnson over here waiting in the wings to go over bids. So we're going to talk about masks, rumors concerning warn letters, some Facebook posts, some things floating around the base, screenshots of layoff numbers, and we want to talk about the upcoming bid or rebid. But first, I want to cover masks. So the company, in some states and in some cities, it's the law. It's mandated by the city that they live in that you wear a mask, and the company's coming with a policy, a system-wide policy saying that you have to wear your mask. I have been in some fruitful conversations with Eric Oland and another fruitful conversation with a supervisor out of MLS yesterday, to where they want to say you have to wear the mask and it's 100+ degrees outside, and irregardless of that, and irregardless of whether it's fogging up your safety glasses. And so my conversation is, please don't kill an ant with a sledgehammer. Let's have some common sense in some of this stuff. In certain areas and out in the hangars, it's hot. It's 100+ degrees, and you got a mask on, and you're breathing air, oxygen in that's even hotter than that. And it's hard to work. It's hard to keep your glasses from being foggy. So bottom line is, be safe. Try to protect each other. If you're in a cabin or you're in a building and they got their mask requirement on, try to wear your masks and do the best you can. If you're wearing a mask and you're working outside and it's hot and it's fogging your glasses, and you got to pull your mask down so you don't drill your finger off or grind your hand off, be smart about it. Take your mask off, do your job, put your mask back on. But look, if it's above 90 degrees and you're out in the hangar, you're outside, you just do the best you can. Now, here's what I think. When I hear the company possibly having conversations with their supervisors that if they catch you not wearing a mask, that they're going to come and remind you, and then after that they're going to go to an investigation, possibly a CR1 entry, and discipline. I lose my cool when I hear that kind of conversation, and I'm prepared to go file a presidential grievance if that's the path they want to go down. So I've had communication with them, and currently I do not feel like upper management wants to go down that path. We want to educate and ask everybody to continue to try to protect each other. What we're doing down here at the hall today, we voted on trying to buy 5,000 of these called neck gaiters, I believe. Marla's told me they're called neck gaiters. Go around your neck and you can pull them up over your nose. We're going to get them in as fast as we can from a company here in the United States out of North Carolina, and try to get them handed out. I think it'll help those that are out in the hot environments be able to breathe easier. So hopefully we'll get them as fast as possible. But if we're going to have bird dogs out watching you to see if you got your mask on or not, I'd honestly turn it around on them and I'd bird dog them. If supervisors want to come and tap you on the shoulder and remind you to have your mask on, to be honest with you, I think that you ought to be on a group text message, and somebody ought to be the watchman, whoever's closest to the supervisor's office. If they want to watch you, watch them. Let each other know, hey, have an alarm system or something. They want to be out there in your work area making your life miserable. You know, it's a game that American Airlines likes to play, and so once again, it feels like here we go. We're gonna go have some fun battling the company over you don't have your mask on and there ain't nobody within you within 20 feet. So we'll go down that road. Hopefully it won't end up in a battle like I'm afraid it's going to, but we have people that continue to contact this virus, and they're coming out here and they're not getting popped with a high temperature at the at the gate, so I don't know if that temperature thing made everybody feel warm and fuzzy that was going to protect us all. But we still have guys and gals that will come through the gate not with the temperature, come to work, and then end up getting the symptoms and going and getting tested and they're positive. So I just can't stress enough to try to continue to protect yourself. Enough about masks and enough about the virus for now. Had a couple of screenshots sent to me, images about a chart that's been floating around with layoff numbers. On one side it said TW, on another side it said IAM. Had conversations with Gary Peterson and other international reps on the phone that said that is a unknown source where that chart came from, and we don't know if it's something that somebody wanted to make up to promote their cause or what they're pushing, but don't know where that came from. But we do know that there was a Facebook post out there. I don't know if it went out last night or first thing this morning, from a gentleman that's an IAM union rep, and he's giving his opinion about WARN letters and what WARN letters mean and what the requirements are that companies have. So the WARN letter is the Workers Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act, which says that companies have to provide either the worker or their union rep 60-day notification before they attempt or going to furlough employees. So on the news, it was reported that United Airlines was sending WARN letters, notifications to all their employees because they need to back it up 60 days in case they're going to do something. We continue to hear American Airlines say they got to drop 30% of their management, and I've seen articles that said they're going to have too many pilots and they're going to have too many flight attendants, and I get constant phone calls and messages asking me, Dale, what about the the maintenance workers and the related workers? So with the phone call with Mr. Peterson, we had all those discussions, and we asked, has the company contacted the union? And he said, look, we've had 2 phone calls. One phone call was they reached out to us and asked us for ideas, and the other phone call was to say that, you guys was during contract negotiations, you were going to offer basically a year's salary to get people to take early outs. And so the advice was to go do what you said you was going to do, and you might get more people to participate in leaving the company voluntarily. So it was told to myself and the other TW presidents on that call that's basically the 2 communications that's taken place. There's no future communications that they know about. There's not ongoing communications like the Facebook post from the IAM union rep talked about. But that doesn't mean that IAM union rep in his station or his area that he's responsible for, maybe he's having communications with local management to try to come up with ideas. We don't know. We do not know. I do anticipate that the association and or at least our international will be putting out some kind of a communication about this Facebook notification, or a little more in-depth explanation about what WARN letters mean and what, if anything, we can anticipate coming. So I do believe that this is the one piece of my opinion is I believe something's going to happen. I just have no knowledge of what that is. Or if you're not going to fly 963 airplanes, say you're going to go down 200 airplanes, and we're 10 mechanics per airplane, you can do that math. So when if you're going to reduce your flights, your scheduled flights, and you're going to reduce the amount of airplanes needed for that reduced schedule, then you should be able to do a math equation and say, I don't need pilots that were flying the airplanes that we're not going to fly. I don't need flight attendants on those airplanes we're not going to fly. I don't need fleet service on those airplanes, mechanics, stores, on and on and on. So I suspect something, we will be getting news of something in the coming months. I just currently do not have any details about what that might be. So we do know there's a 60-day notification of the warn letter. So once you get that individually, or if it comes, and if the union gets notified, we'll get notified and you'll get notified. So I suspect if they send out a 60-day notification letter, that'll mean something's coming in 60 days. I'm looking at my notes here. I do have written down here, different states have different requirements. So if you're in a state, that state says the rule is that you have to be notified yourself. One state, those employees might get notified, and in another state, it might just simply come from the union rep. So, Marla, did I miss anything on that?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I want to get to the bid. So the upcoming bid, obviously it was put off. It was going to be, it was in the books. It's in May, and it was put off till June the 8th. And then there was other stations outside of Tulsa that were not ready, and so it was put off until August the 10th. And so if you look at the timelines to get a bid and get everybody in their new work locations on August the 10th, you have to back up and start the process before, and that process is going to start this Friday. Marla's going to go over those details. But in the short period between June and where we're at today, what's today? The 9th?
Today's 9th.
July 9th. Craig Sully here at the base has been in charge of trying to get people ran through GenFam qualifications, or different fleet types. So that initially the company wanted to put the restriction on you using your seniority to bid your shift and days off by whether or not you had the requirement to work on that aircraft. This bid being moved from June to August has allowed them to go take another look at who was slated to go to training, and we asked that they follow the contract book and try to get the most senior people in to training, and they have done that. And there's still going to be the possibility of, so when you're in, like if you're in 5 and 6 and you go bid 777, or you bid some other aircraft type that's out there, the one that they're worried about is the 787. So we weren't able to get enough people through the 787 to make sure that regardless of who bids the 787, they will have the GenFam prior to August the 10th. So to keep from having that restriction, so I want you to bid with your seniority for your shift and days off. What may happen, and we won't know till everybody bids, come August the 10th, if not enough people bid onto the 787 that have the 787 GenFam qualification, not going to restrict you from bidding the 787, not going to restrict you from bidding away from the 787 if you've got the GenFam. But what may have to happen is if too many people hit the 787 line that don't have the GenFam, obviously those folks have to go get the GenFam. It's a 1-week school. They can run 36 a week through, 18 on days and 18 on nights. The same scenario might happen over in Hangar 3 with the little bus. We've got people that are working those aircraft now. They're going to bid to some other location, or they might bid that location. But if that airplane's not completed, they may have to reassign, just a job assignment. If Dell Danker bid off the 787 and I had 787 GenFam, and I want them to do it by the low, go the low senior guy that's got it, they can reassign him back to the 787 until that person gets out of GenFam and comes back to take my spot. Then I can go back to where I bid, the work location I bid. That's the least impact to the most people. If you're one of the ones that get reassigned, you're going to say this is BS, I bid over here. It's a job assignment. I mean, we have to, here in Tulsa, get everybody through GenFam, come January, we won't have this problem. But this first initial step, it may be that they have to reassign people that have the Gen Fam back to that work location until the guy can get out of school. I just ask that everybody, you've had patience up till now, nobody's taken my hide off, and I know y'all ready to bid and get into a different spot, a different set of days off, and maybe a different shift. But I just ask that you continue to have patience with each other until we can get everybody trained. So, Marla, did I miss anything on my part?
I believe so.
All right, so I'm going to ask Marla to go over what you can expect the timelines to be in the process.
Hello, everybody. Okay, so tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning, they're going to start handing out bid sheets to everybody. Okay, so that's crew chiefs, mechanics, MLS, tech crew chiefs. So everybody should get a bid sheet sometime tomorrow. Crew chief bid closes on Thursday, July 16th. So as soon as you can get those, if you know what you want and you want to bid that, we would appreciate you guys getting those turned in as quickly as possible. So we've called Jay Potter back to help with this. Jay is good with the Excel spreadsheets. And Jay and I are going to be overheading the Title I group and also facility maintenance. Linda Deal, the chairwoman of MLS, will be heading the stores bid. So it would be beneficial if you would get those in. We are going, so the company is still going to do their bid like they normally did in the past. It's all manual. They do everything manual. We are going to do ours on the computer. And at the end of the bid process, we'll get together to ensure we have as few mistakes. I'm not going to say we're not going to have any mistakes. This is our first time as the union helping with this bid, and it is very tedious and it's a lot of work, and it's Jay and I. So there's 4,000 of you guys that we're going to have to try to ensure that you get your selection by seniority in the work location and crew chief, if so be it, that you choose. So Thursday, July 16th, we get the bid closes for the crew chiefs. Monday, July 20th, we'll post those awards. Those awards will be posted in every work location. So if you're wanting to bid a certain crew chief, you'll want to hold on to your bid sheet until after the 20th. So if you don't want to bid, if you're only wanting to bid your days off and shift, then you can turn that in anytime after you receive it. If you're wanting to wait, then you wait for that posting to go up on the 20th on where the crew chiefs are going to be located, and then you can bid for a crew chief. The mechanics and MLS who are not crew chiefs, your bid closes the 24th of July. So everybody has to return those bid sheets by the 24th of July. And then we're going to have it all posted hopefully by July 30th. We do have until the 3rd because we do have to give you a 7-day notice. So hopefully we'll have it by July 30th. At the latest, it'll be August 3rd to post the awards. So it's, like I said, it's very tedious. It's going to be a lot of work. Jay has been ranking everybody in seniority order under the new contract language. So we have been working on that for the last couple of months. Now once we start getting the bid sheets in and we start entering all the data, then we can start placing people where they bid by seniority. So please bear with us. We're doing our best to try to make this successful, and hopefully it will be.
Marla, can you tell them, those that may not be here, may not get a preference sheet turned in, or may be on a leave of absence coming back, if you're not here and you don't bid, what you can expect to happen when you come back?
So when you come back, you're placed in whatever your seniority holds. So I encourage everybody to try to fill out a bid sheet, even if you're not going to be here. I have not got confirmation from management on how we can accomplish that. Hopefully, I have had a few people reach out to me asking if they could get a bid sheet. I've referred them back to their management team and staff assistants to see if they can't get a bid sheet. If you're on a leave of absence, you will not be placed on the roster until you come back. But once you come back, then you go where your seniority allows you to be placed. So I've had a lot of questions say, they're going to place me. No, the contract specifically says when you come back, you will be placed where your seniority holds you. So we'll get your preference at that time, and we'll slot you in wherever you belong.
Okay. Thank you. There's probably lots of other questions and topics that we could discuss on this call or this video, but it's already 20 minutes long, and I just would rather hold that for another video. So educate yourself, use your book. Mine's got lots of notes on it, but a lot of guys call or gals call and ask me questions, and I might be on my tractor at home riding, and I said, well, have you read the article yet? And a lot of times they'll say, no, I have not. And so I just I usually like to read an article before I speak on it. So on furloughs and on reduction in force and the rebid and those things, and safety issues, it's always beneficial if we're going to have a conversation if we've both read the article. So I just appreciate your time here on this video. Y'all have a nice day. Thank you.